I know I'm late in coming with this video, but as everyone knows, Obama is the president. And as much as happy as I was that night, as a matter of fact, I was working that night. And I did everything that I had to do. So by 10:30, I was in front of a TV in one of the empty rooms, straight watching. And when I heard his speech, I was like, yes, definitely. We made a really, really good choice. The United States came together. They did what they had to do. They put aside whatever differences, whatever opinions that they have, whatever little racist nonsense that they may have going on. They put all of that crap aside and picked the person who they felt was going to do the very best job for this country, despite the fact that he was black, despite the fact that, you know, it's just what we would expect that, okay, all our presidents are going to be some old white guy. You know, and this election was so different because not only did you have an African American running for president, you had women running also. So this was a very, very historic election. Like, regardless of whoever would have won, it would have been definitely, it's going down the books as a historic election ever. But he won, so that's it. What else did I want to say? Oh, one thing that I did want to remind people, as excited as we are about him winning, we're ecstatic, we're going in the street, we're Obama, you know, putting up all the banners and the bumper stickers and the pins and the buttons and everything, and that's great. But one thing, unfortunately, I have to be the voice of reason. I have to be the one to pop your bubble. Not really burst your bubble, but to keep things in perspective. That's just step one. Because honestly, if we voted for him, obviously we were thinking about who would run this country best, who would bring this country back to where it needs to be, back up to par. And we chose Obama. And he's all for, his slogan was all about change, 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 change. We're trying to change things. We're trying to be movers and shakers. We're not trying to sit in this same rut that we've been in for 8 years. No, we're moving things. We're going around. Well, more like 6 years. And he's just step one of that change. Our whole thing was change, 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 change. So when it comes time for him, now that he's become president, and President Bush, the old president, now President Bush goes and just says, okay, here, bloop, and throws this big old yoke around his neck with all this burden that he left undone, and the way the country is, the way the economy is, the whole thing with the war, and he just put all of that, the big old yoke on his neck and said, here you go. So he's got to carry that yoke, and he's going to be able, and he's going to do some serious decision makings. He's going to pass some laws. Some things are going to change. And definitely, if we're not going to, go ahead and agree with his changes, we're not going to support him completely for his changes, then in a way I just feel like, so what was the point in electing him to begin with? Because if he starts raising these taxes up, then we need to just go ahead and say, all right, you raise the taxes, all right, Obama, that's what we have to do. Here you go, here you go, here you go, in order to improve our country. What I really don't want to see is people are like, change, 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 change. And then when he starts making the things, when he starts doing the decisions that are necessary in order to bring that change about, all of a sudden we're like, whoa, I know I said change, but you want me to pay how much in taxes? Wait, I don't think so. You want me to do what? And then who? No, that's not what I want to hear, because just as much as he was step one, the next step is to actually get into that progress where we hit the change, where the U.S. is back to where it's supposed to be. So we can't just be all behind him when he gets presidency, and all of a sudden when he starts making these laws and decisions, now we're just like, oh, no, I don't think so. So definitely we have to remember the reason why we elected him. What was the main goal? What was the main purpose? What was the main driving force behind us bubbling in for him to become president? So, I mean, I know I'm not going to like the taxes, but if the taxes in the long run is going to improve the economy of the United States, if his laws in the long run are going to eventually put a date on this war to end so that then folks can come on back home and we can start working on home, then I'm all for it. If his decisions in the long run are going to stop all these foreclosures on these homes, I'm all for it. If these decisions in the long run are going to improve our schools, it's going to help our kids to be able to go to college, folks are going to be able to afford some life insurance, folks are going to be able to afford some health insurance, then okay, I'm willing to bite down and do what I need to do in order for the long run, because really a lot of the stuff that we're not really going to see it right now. A lot of the things that he's saying that he's going to do, I mean, honestly, we're not going to see it in a year. We're not going to see it in 2 years. We might start seeing a slight bit, but we're not going to see the whole complete big change in 4 years. It's a work in progress. So if what I do now is going to improve things in the future for my daughter, then I have absolutely no problems. So that's what we need to remember, is that these changes that he's promising is not necessarily going to happen today. It's not going to happen next week. It's not going to happen next month. This is a progress. You have to remember, we are in a recession. Things are looking ugly. So it's not something that's going to be fixed right away. But what we do need to remember is that the decisions that he is going to make, we're going to have to stand behind him and support him in those decisions, just like we supported him in becoming president, so that future-wise, things will get where they need to be and we will eventually reach that change that we all are so desperately hoping for. Because I don't know about you, but I don't have money like that. Like, I'm lucky enough to be able to say that I'm okay right now, but God forbid, I'm telling you, I don't know if you guys got that notice, FPL over here, Florida Power and Light, for those who are not in Florida. But they want to sit here and decide that they want to raise up their taxes 7%. Bullshit. Because they just finished raising it a little while ago. And how come they're raising it and the gas prices are going down? So what's your deal? If the gas prices are down, why are you increasing my rate? They made some cock and bull thing in the newspaper talking about, well, we're raising it up because of to pay for the fuel when the gas prices were really, really high. And they said eventually, when that time comes, that they can decrease in the taxes for how the fuel is down now. We're going to be able to see it later on. I'm thinking to myself, fuck that bullshit. Just leave my stuff exactly where it is. 7% is a big chunk. Just leave it the way it is. And eventually, everything will just catch up on its own. And they're raising the 7%, and then at the same time, they laying off people. And I'm just like, these... It's like they looking to make people go broke. And seriously, I wonder if everybody were to just get together and say, you know what? No, we're not paying 7% more. You want to take away the power? Then you taking away everybody's power. And then let's see how much money you finna be putting in your back pocket. Because seriously, I'm not with it. I'm just so not with it anymore. Things are okay, but I know, honestly, I'm like 2 steps away from being like neck deep in some doo-doo. If these people keep messing around and raising these taxes and doing all this stuff, you know, sometimes I think it's really just them wanting to put some more money in their back pocket. But hey, At least we don't have McCain, because then he really would have been trying to help them put some money in their back pocket.